Here is what's coming up in today's Frontline compilation. Magyar's drone team hunts a Russian fire group across timber shacks. An FPV noses toward a thin-walled shed as comrades scatter under trees. Drone-dropped munitions chase Russian infantry. One team is hit before a doorway as crumbling walls thin with each strike. A soldier darts into a ruined building, and what comes through the ceiling next leaves no shelter. Helmet cam from a fallen Ukrainian sniper shows stalks through tree lines, suppressed rifles, and mapboard range cards. The team runs classic sniper and reconnaissance tasks, switching weapons as needed to hit Russian positions. Footage shows several harassing strikes on Russian logisticians, including an attack on a truck. Operations like these deny frontline troops the supplies they need, hurting the enemy more than direct harassment of positions. This is real footage. No effects, just raw moments from the battlefield. Subscribe to stay updated on every Frontline report and stick around to see it all unfold. Let's get into it. Drone footage compiles strikes against Russian armor and equipment in the Pokrovsk region of Ukraine. The video shows multiple impacts recorded from the air on vehicles. It presents a straightforward sequence of attacks in that area. Reconnaissance drone footage, coupled with FPV views, shows an attack on a Russian-operated 107mm multiple launch rocket system. The launcher is a North Korean Type 75. It was firing on Ukrainian positions when the reconnaissance platform spotted it. That observation enabled an FPV team to fly into the area and strike the vehicle. The aim of the attack was to disable and destroy the launcher. The clip keeps focus on the find, the approach, and the hit, linking the scout view to the terminal strike. A compilation shows Russian Special Operations troops conducting combat operations during the earliest stages of the invasion and through further operations in the Russo-Ukraine War. The video strings together short clips from across that period. It begins with actions from the very start of the invasion and continues later. Later in the video, the troops are shown fighting. Compilation footage shows brutally effective drone-dropped munition strikes against Russian forces in the vicinity of Bilohorivka, Donetsk. Most targets are infantry, with clips showing drone-dropped munitions on Russian troops. The final drop places an M67 hand grenade into the open hatch of a Russian main battle tank, causing a fire and visible destruction. Footage from an unnamed Ukrainian unit shows a squad exchanging small arms and RPG fire with Russian troops in central Vovchansk. The Russians are not seen because bright sunlight washes the view. The Ukrainians fire while using brick walls and corners as cover. RPG rounds are used despite tight urban spacing. Video from the Ukrainian Birds of Magyar drone unit shows a Russian fire team engaged. One soldier hides in a small shack, which is hit by an FPV drone. Later, wounded comrades try to leave the area. More drones arrive and a final strike hits them. Thermal drone footage shows Ukrainian 60th Brigade infantry clearing entrenched Russian positions. Grenades are thrown into a bunker, and surviving troops are pressed to surrender. Other clips show defenders refusing, so more grenades and rifle fire are used. Later, Ukrainians can be seen wearing thermal blocking cloaks that would allow them to cover themselves and reduce their heat signature from Russian thermal sensors. FPV drones from the 71st Jaeger Brigade strike Russian armor near Kharkiv. A tank is hit and burns. Another clip shows a BMP with a large cope canopy firing before the FPV closes and strikes. After the impact, the BMP burns as well. The sequence is simple and focused on the hits. GoPro footage from a recently KIA Ukrainian sniper shows operations against Russian positions. The small unit conducts conventional sniper and reconnaissance tasks. The footage also shows attacks in different areas. Later, they capture Russian troops in the field. They use various weapon systems to damage Russian forces. This video is a compilation of clips showing strikes against Russian infantry. Throughout, drones drop munitions on Russian forces in repeated short engagements. The sequence keeps focus on each release and impact. Many soldiers are attacked, resulting in severe injuries and deaths. Drone footage released by Russian forces in the Sumy region shows two dual-pronged FPV strikes on Ukrainian vehicles. In the first, the lead drone hits the rear vehicle as the pair appears halted, fixing the forward buggy for the second attack. The next ambush targets a moving Humvee. It is unclear whether the Humvee was disabled or destroyed. Drone footage from Russian sources shows strikes on a British FV-105 and an American M113. The drones hit the vehicles on a roadside beside a field. There is no sign of catastrophic damage. Both vehicles appear previously disabled, and the strikes seem meant to further damage them and make recovery harder. Drone-dropped munitions strike Russian infantry. One team is engaged and neutralized before reaching a building. Repeated drops chip away at structures until they offer little cover. A Russian soldier takes shelter from direct fire in a damaged building and is then hit by a drone-dropped munition. The blast sets him on fire. GoPro footage shows Ukrainians assaulting Russian positions near Kharkiv from a soldier's point of view. The clip shows them fighting each other in jungle terrain. As the assault moves, both sides shout back and forth. The attackers urge the defenders to surrender to avoid a close-quarters gunfight. Helmet cam footage from the Ukrainian National Police's Lyut unit shows close quarters clearing in Toretsk, moving room to room and building to building, firing and throwing bombs inside. Later, they reach a rooftop and raise their flag. FPV drone footage from the Kursk region shows several harassing attacks against Russian logisticians, including strikes on multiple trucks. Soldiers are seen running from the trucks to avoid the incoming drones. These attacks deny frontline troops needed supplies, hitting softer routes while personnel are en route. That leads to low morale, desertions, and fights inside the Russian army. If this grows, those internal problems could cost them the war. Multiple views released by Ukrainian drone operators show a group of Russian drone operators hit by FPV drones while they are in a firm base. The strikes land in succession and the position is repeatedly hit. This compilation shows Ukrainian army elements during an assault in Toretsk, Donetsk Oblast. An M2 Bradley and a tank from the 100th Mechanized Brigade fire on Russian-held buildings before infantry from the Cord unit move in. An overhead drone view also shows the action. FPV footage shows Ukrainian troops clearing Russian trenches. They approach a dugout with an entrance covered by a blanket, and when they check it, the defenders fire.
Нет. Да, дым. На входе там их куры. Сдавайся, долбоёб!
The view stays on the opening as the Ukrainians answer with rifle fire, then toss grenades into the position. After the blasts, they work to smoke the dugout to force the defenders out.
Нема нікого? Пусто? Все, плюс. Венгер, ми дійшли до кінця, це найс. Тут чисто.
A compilation of recent FPV drone strikes released by Russian sources shows ambush attacks on Ukrainian vehicles. The targets are presented as opportunistic shots. Most of the attacks occurred in the Dnipropetrovsk region of Ukraine. The clips track the drones' approaches and the hits on the vehicles. The view stays on the opening as the Ukrainians answer with rifle fire, then toss grenades into the position. After the blasts, they work to smoke the dugout to force the defenders out. Ukrainian drone footage spots Russian infantry using a partly ruined building as a forward post. The cover is too solid for a drone strike, so a T-64 is brought in. The tank closes and fires main gun rounds into the structure. The video provides no battle damage assessment. FPV drones from Ukraine's 46th Airmobile Brigade strike a cluster of heavily modified armored vehicles. One tank is hit and erupts in flames. A few Russian soldiers surrender. Ukrainian troops attempt to take prisoners when possible. RT footage shows a firefight in Bakhmut. The clip opens with both sides already trading fire. Russian troops fire from rubble while Ukrainians return shots. At the end, the reporters pull back and leave the fight.
Слава России! Потому что идут прострелы. Да, прострелы кроем, да. С той стороны работает снайпер, лёдочник.
Drone footage shows 2 Ukrainian troops neutralizing a Russian bunker. They suppress the position with small arms fire and toss multiple hand grenades into the fighting position. They finish with additional bursts of rifle fire. Ukrainian forces released a mashup showing over a dozen strikes that bring buildings down on targeted Russian troops. The footage is reportedly from the Kharkiv region and focuses on the effect of drone-delivered payloads on structures. The clips underline the increased payload and lethality of Ukrainian drones as walls give way and roofs collapse onto positions. Fiber optic drone footage from the Signum battalion shows a strike on a hidden Russian artillery piece in the Lyman region. Signum uses drones to find and destroy logistics, electronic warfare systems, and artillery, and this strike is one example of that. Various drone clips show Russian troops trying to hide and being rooted out by FPV bomb drones. 2 soldiers seek shelter in the frame of a destroyed house, but the drone threads obstacles and strikes inside. Another scene suggests troops or ammunition under a supply truck. A hit sets a munitions box cooking off. Finally, a Russian soldier pinned in the open shoots upward at the drone, misses it, and is struck by the agile explosive device. Drone footage shows a Russian armored assault group attempting to break through Ukrainian lines and being quickly stopped by mines and FPV drones. After the vehicles are immobilized, Russian troops dismount and are hit by drone-dropped munitions. The incidents reportedly occurred near Kurakivka, west of Donetsk city. That's today's raw footage. No filters, no fluff. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment with the clip that stood out, and subscribe if you want more Frontline reports. See you in the next upload.